Hey guys, how we doing? So we're on another video from Totally Not Mark, Dragon Ball Super related. And we'll talk about Zamasu, and this one's called Turning Characters Evil. And this is interesting because when you think about Zamasu, I think, let me think about this. Yeah, nearly all the villains in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Super, I'm not really too well versed on Dragon Ball, have just been introduced as bad guys straight away. You know, they're just evil and that's it. Whereas Zamasu developed into the bad guy. Like, he was being trained to be the guy. And then he just thought, look, better than the mortals, seen the way that they act, and was like, nah, I need to change all this, and that's what put his plan to motive. But anyway, let's see what Totally Not Mark has saying about it. Sometimes I go, like with the Trunks one, I was talking about something and then the video was completely different, so let's see what he has to say on this one. No, you cannot.
Zamasu is a character unlike any other in Dragon Ball. While the vast majority of the series' villains up until this point were introduced as pure evil,
oh, here we go. Right, yeah, okay, cool. Yes, I'm on the right track with this one.
To actually develop into one, beginning his story as a Supreme Kai in training with understandable, naive, adolescent concerns.
I like it when I'm right.
By the ending, we see him as a radicalized, megalomaniacal, genocidal psychopath.
Kill all the mortals.
Characters like Cell and Frieza have fantastic utility within storytelling because of their pure evil nature. And I actually wrote a video on that too. However, because Zamasu didn't start as a villain and instead gradually developed into one, both he and Goku Black showed us something we never had seen before in Dragon Ball. And I'm going to show you how they did that. Today I'm going to dive in depth discussing the character of Zamasu, analyzing the dialogue and his unique character arc, all in an effort to figure out how and why writers turn their characters evil.
Cool.
This is Zamasu.
Like in the music.
Okay, so right off the bat I can already hear what some of you out there might be asking. So what if Zamasu started as someone with good motivations? He eventually became an evil character just like Frieza and Cell. Why does it matter if he started as good? Well, characters that undergo this negative change have something which characters like Frieza and Cell don't have. Emotional resonance and believability.
Yes.
They are rooted more in reality, and so we can understand and empathize with their motivations much more easily because we see how they came to be that way.
Yep, Breaking
Now,
Pass
that
is
doesn't
such a good
mean that we
example of that.
believe they're right or even have a point, but we can see more clearly how they
Oh,
came
of course,
to be,
what an example.
which creates a more realistic connection to the viewer. A well-crafted negative change arc provides viewers with a character that reveals interesting truths both about the world and about the viewers themselves. When structured properly, a negative change arc can act as a cautionary tale that can inspire great change in all of us.
Oh.
Don't tell Harry. But to fully understand the negative change arc and how to write one, it's important to first understand the most common arc found in fiction. You'll find this arc in Marvel, Into the Spider-Verse, Dragon Ball, Game of Thrones, and pretty much every other story told. And this arc is called the Positive Change Arc. In K.M. Weiland's book called Creating Character Arcs, she describes the positive change arc. In it she says, the positive change arc is all about the lie the character believes. The character is harboring some deeply held misconception about either himself, the world, or both.
And then when they learn the truth, they act upon it?
The lie the character believes is sort of the character's flaw. Often the main protagonist will spend the majority of the story addressing and coming to grips with this lie before coming out on the other side a changed person for the better, having rejected their lie and adopting a new truth. For example, before the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, Piccolo Jr. is revealed as the spawn of the former King Piccolo as the villain and antagonistic character for Goku to overcome during the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. And man, is he a terrific character during this portion of the story. Unlike the conclusion to the prior saga, Goku elects to not show Piccolo the same fate his father met. As a result, Piccolo recovers and then retreats. What's interesting about this is that Piccolo Jr. is not who his father was.
No.
Because he's the son of King Piccolo, Piccolo believes that that's who he is. This is the lie that he believes. And it takes forces from another world and the son of his former nemesis to show him that he is his own person.
Look, you are you.
He's kind. He's protective. He's selfless. Resulting in one of the most emotionally resonant scenes
sacrificed himself
in
for
the entire
Gohan.
series. And this brings us to the negative change arc. The negative change arc is essentially the positive change arc, but
backwards.
flipped on its head.
There you go.
Instead of a character that grows out of his faults and into a better person, the negative change arc presents a character who ends in a worse state than that in which he began the story. If we look at Zamasu alongside someone like Frieza, clear differences are observed. When we first meet Frieza, it's made abundantly clear that this guy is insane in the most dangerous of ways,
He is
with goals that are
evil.
clearly insidious.
Evil from the
Similar
get-go.
conclusions could have been drawn about King Piccolo, Vegeta, and Cell.
Yeah.
But this is clearly not what our first impression of Zamasu is.
No.
He's subservient, patient,
Yeah, he's making tea.
motivated, and somewhat
Chilling and
anxious,
asking questions.
with his pure heart and good sensibilities reflected in the quality of the tea he prepares for his master, the Supreme Kai of Universe 10, Gowasu. However, this anxiety he feels leads him to say this.
人間とは本当に守るべき存在なのかと。
This is one of the many pivotal turning points for Zamasu's character, which perfectly highlights the lie that he has been developing. The belief that he is better than mortals by
Yeah.
virtue of the fact that he
is a
holds a
god.
higher rank in the cosmos. This conflict of emotions, morals, and duty is very interesting. As author George R.R. Martin has said, the internal struggle within a character's mind and morals are where the true wonder of complex character writing is found.
You have to take your characters and you have to put them through crises. That's what fiction and drama is all about. It's not your hero has a really good time. Things have to happen that
Bad things
cause
have
the
to happen.
characters to question who they are and what their place in the world is and what the meaning of it all is. To go through the dark nights of the soul and times of fear and terror. And, I've always taken as my mantra the William Faulkner's words in his Nobel Prize acceptance speech where he said, the human heart in conflict with itself is the only thing worth writing about.
In reality,
Damn.
people are complicated. They don't fit
Yeah.
into perfect
Yeah,
archetypes
they
very
are.
easily. And it's this very same emotional conflict that's observed in Zamasu during episode 53. He goes on to explain that he is concerned with mortals' never-ending cycle of self-destruction, thinking that their continued efforts, as history has shown, are futile. What makes this more tragic is that he's saying this from a place of compassion, wishing to spare mortals any further suffering
Yeah,
at their
it's
own
put them
hands.
out of their misery.
It's clear that he is deeply in need of guidance to correct this naive viewpoint. However, Gowasu gives him possibly the worst piece of advice someone like him needed at this time. He says, "The duty of the Kais and the Supreme Kais is to create, not to execute punishment. We only watch over and nurture." This does not address Zamasu's concerns and only reinforces his growing resentment for the Kai's way of life.
Yeah.
After expressing what he considers genuine concerns to his master, Gowasu responds by saying it's not our pay grade. It's in
not
receiving
us.
this response
It's not
that
what
the
we
lie
do.
Zamasu had been
Forget
curious
it.
about has now become stronger. What's more is that it is immediately reinforced seconds later by this.
Yeah, with Goku.
Despite learning his name and consistently being engaged by Goku, Zamasu refuses to address him in any other way
Nah.
than mortal. Check it out, watch the scene, he never once calls him Goku. Again, emphasizing quite well through dialogue how Zamasu views
Refuses
himself above
to
all
acknowledge him
mortals.
as
With that said, however, it's Goku's first
anything.
fight with him that tells us everything we need to know about his character. Having been instructed by Gowasu against his wishes to fight Goku, Zamasu still considers himself far above any mortal.
Hell yeah.
Demonstrated visually in his calm counter of Goku's very first strike. Notice his facial expression, closing his eyes dismissively as he pushes
like, whatever.
Goku's fist to the
You
side,
can't
followed
get
swiftly
me.
after by him arrogantly announcing, "It ends here," claiming that the fight is already over. Zamasu moving then to deliver the final blow. However, something happens. This lie he believes has led him down a path that caused him to make a fatal mistake. He underestimated Goku. Goku blocks the attack. The second Goku's hand meets Zamasu's is the moment Zamasu's lie is challenged. His world, his reality
It's been threatened.
is challenged.
Yep.
This is also reinforced by the musical score. The second Goku's counter meets Zamasu's attack, Goku Black's theme begins to play,
Oof.
signifying in that moment, Zamasu became the villain of the
Right
arc.
then.
Instead of seeing Goku's remarkable ability as an indication that he might not fully understand mortals, he instead clings to his lie and rejects the truth, viewing Goku and others like him as threats to the god's divine nature and wisdom, inevitably spiraling towards their own destruction. Zamasu now believes a worse lie as a result, that not only is he above the comprehension of mortals, but he views himself now as more enlightened than the gods. The concept
My
and initial
God, man,
execution of Zamasu is fantastic,
Ugh.
and as the villain of this arc, I thought he was perfectly packaged alongside Goku Black. As the
Yeah.
arc progressed, and in some cases stumbled towards its conclusion, Zamasu's actions became increasingly more severe and extreme to a point where he became unrecognizable. However, this arc, as many of you know, left a lot to be desired in its third act.
Yeah,
I don't think this is
it's a shame.
necessarily a result of Zamasu's character, but more so to do with him lacking similarities to the main protagonist of this arc, Trunks. At the end, Trunks confronts Fuse Zamasu, who has become mutilated and contorted to a gruesome extent because of this lie he
He'll do
refused to
anything.
let go
He
of,
truly
which
believes
is a
it.
fantastic visual representation. But I think this altercation between these two characters could have benefited greatly by a popular concept found in films like this. In Sony's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the main character, Miles Morales, needs to start being who he really is, instead of who he thinks people want him to be.
Right.
But like many teenagers, he doesn't know who he is yet and can't trust himself. He's unable to take a leap of faith, because it's scary. Taking leaps of faith is terrifying both metaphorically and literally. And this is demonstrated brilliantly through Peter B. Parker's character, acting as the film's example of what happens and what might happen to Miles if and when you don't address the lie or fear that you have. Peter B. Parker is a point of contrast from Miles Morales, showing what happens when you let the lie itself take over. But thankfully, over the course of the film, both Miles and eventually Peter overcome their lies they believe and come out on the other side more complete people. Now I know what you're saying, those are two protagonists. How could it work with a villain
like the
and a hero?
mouth
Well,
moving.
very easily. But first I want to point out that there are a lot of things that work about Zamasu and Trunks' dynamic. They both care for the development and prosperity of their respective spheres of influence. However, Zamasu does not trust in mortal ability to handle conflict.
Nope.
Trunks, at the same time, doesn't believe in his own abilities to achieve what he knows is good. But what this dynamic lacked was that Trunks can't fall down the same path Zamasu did. So what's the lesson? Don't be crazy like Zamasu?
Yeah,
I understand that
I
Trunks
suppose.
coming to believe in himself and humanity is the conclusion of his arc, but it's in no way linked to Zamasu's experience, and I can't help but feel that that was a missed opportunity. A great
Yeah.
example of this can be seen in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man series, with the character of Harry Osborn turning to the dark side,
Yeah.
turning bad as he is consumed by his desire to avenge his
His
father's
dad, yeah.
death. A wonderful example of a negative character arc, but also a wonderful comparison to our Peter Parker, who suffered a similar loss and became overcome by vengeance. And this is why negative character arcs work well in showing us how easily a character or hero could have gone down the wrong path more easily than we might have recognized. Imagine if Zamasu was a powerful mortal character like Trunks, who like him didn't believe in his or other mortals' abilities to prosper, leading him down a path of terror and arrogance just like we saw with Zamasu in the series. With this, the arc could have been so much more impactful at its conclusion, and could have
Yeah, the
actually
ending was
had
very
a
lackluster,
satisfying
wasn't it?
ending. However, with that said, the future Trunks arc Zamasu demonstrated a wonderful design, fantastic early characterization, and a compelling motivation, making him the first sympathetic villain Dragon Ball has ever had, and hopefully it won't be the last.
Yeah,
Thanks
it'd be
for
cool to
watching.
see another character like Zamasu within the series. That'd be awesome. That was a good discussion. Yeah. It is a shame that the ended it off the way it did. Felt like it was really, really missing something. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the arc. I think it was my favourite one in Super. Except when you watch the last few episodes of the Universal Tournament arc and you're just like, the fight scenes. But yeah, storytelling wise, there's always like a bit of mystery and trying to figure out and wonder what's going on, and it wasn't your straightforward Dragon Ball series where it's just like, there's the bad guy, stop the bad guy, we win, save the day, da. Yeah, Zamasu was an interesting character, and yeah, it is just a shame that it ended the way it is. So cool. Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos, and I'll see you guys. We saw you guys next time.